How's it going, everyone? We're gonna be talking about a game that certainly has no controversy, that everybody absolutely loves, and that is One Last of Us Part 2 Remastered, as it has gotten a major free update, the Chronological Experience update. Introducing The Last of Us Part 2 Remastered Chronological Experience out today. The free update lets players experience Ellie and Abby's story chronologically and also includes unlockable skins and trophies. Now, let me say, Last of Us Part 2 is one of the most controversial games legitimately of all time. I don't think anybody would disagree on that. Even if you love the game, if you hate the game, you understand that despite your personal opinion, that the opposite opinion rings true in the sense that it exists. You can't just pretend it doesn't exist. I personally am not crazy about The Last of Us Part 2. I hate the game from a narrative standpoint, but I understand that a lot of people found it to be one of the most emotionally gripping and moving games that they've ever played. I will also say that I think it's one of the most remarkable games from a gameplay standpoint that I've ever played. And let me also say that while I hate the narrative in the game, I think structurally, it's an incredibly unique game as far as how you consistently shift between Ellie and Abby's story and how they come together. I think that's a very unique way in terms of structuring a game's narrative. Even though I do hate the narrative itself, the structuring of the narrative I thought was incredibly unique. And the PlayStation blog post from Jonathan Dornbush, editorial content manager over at Naughty Dog, notes this: "It's been such a thrilling time for us here at Naughty Dog, especially as we've welcomed so many old and new fans of The Last of Us into the franchise. To celebrate all of your support, we have a surprise in the form of a free update hitting Last of Us Part 2 Remastered today. Available for all players as a part of a downloadable update today. We've introduced a new way to play the story of The Last of Us Part 2 like never before, chronologically. Those who have already played will know its story is told non-linearly as Ellie and Abby's motivations, realizations, and emotional stakes unfold across myriad flashbacks and present-day storylines. While this structure is very intentional and core to how our studio wanted Part 2's themes and narrative beats to impact players, we also wondered what it would be like to experience the story chronologically, and now finally we can answer that question. Through the new chronological mode, we believe players will gain even deeper insight into Part 2's narrative. Players will be able to see how Ellie being gifted a guitar flows so neatly into her learning to play. For example, while the journey through Seattle will showcase the fascinating parallels between Ellie and Abby's crisscrossing journeys, you'll just see just how close they come into running into each other, how their actions impact each other, and more. It was no small feat to bring The Last of Us Part 2's story chronologically together, given that Part 2's story is so meticulously put together. We're grateful to the developers both at Naughty Dog and our partners at Nix's to make the chronological mode as smooth as possible, and while we of course recommend players still new to the game to play Part 2's story as was originally developed, the team's hard work has paid off with a fascinating new way to enjoy this chapter. And we also want to reward players for jumping into this new transformative approach to our story in addition to new trophies tied to completing the narrative. Love to hear about that. In chronological order, doing so will also unlock two new, perhaps surprisingly familiar skins. Yes, that's right, play as Joel dressed as Nathan Drake and Tommy as Sam Drake in No Return. Particularly as we celebrate Naughty Dog's 40th anniversary this year, we love getting the chance to spotlight and share the history of our studio that we love as much as we know you do. How about this as well? Next year will be 10 years since Uncharted 4 came out. How fast does time fly? I remember playing Uncharted 4 the day it came out, but yeah, that's insane to think about. These skins will be unlocked for completing the narrative in chronological and will be usable in No Return Part 2 Remastered's thrilling roguelike survival mode. A new update for The Last of Us Part 2 Remastered is available today on both PS5 via patch 2.1.0 and PC via Steam and the Epic Game Store via patch 1.5, bringing with it the chronological mode as well as a host of additional bug fixes and performance improvements. We here at Naughty Dog are so grateful for all the love and support we've seen from Last of Us fans these last few months. From the launch of Last of Us Part 2 Remastered on PC, The Last of Us Complete on PlayStation 5, to seeing your weekly reactions to Season 2 on the television series, it's been such a pleasure to celebrate this moment with you. And again, while I've always been down on Last of Us Part 2 narratively, I actually replayed Last of Us Part 2 a couple months ago when it came out on PC, and it made me hate the narrative even more. And at this point, I feel like everybody knows it's not just, and spoiler alert, it's not just now as far as Joel's death. I think that story gets even worse after Joel dies. The pacing is horrible, and narratively, I just think it's such a mess of a game. But Joel's death certainly is like the thing that set off the train wreck that was that game's story. But hey, if you were emotionally moved by it, again, games that are emotionally gripping are going to resonate with people in widely different ways. I understand why people liked it. Oh my god, it's not about revenge, it's about forgiveness. What I really hate about people when it comes to Last of Us Part 2's narrative is I feel like there's this almost holier than thou if you like the story and you're just like, you just couldn't comprehend the story. You didn't understand about forgiveness and how important of a theme it was. Bro, everybody understood the theme and the story of Last of Us Part 2. It's just a trash story. Yes, does Abby's character motivations make sense? Yeah, they do. Making sense being the barometer for a good story is like just the wildest thing to me, and I hate that about Last of Us Part 2's fandom more than anything, is that there is this fandom that absolutely loves this story, and you're entitled to loving the story. I've said that over and over again, but it's this, oh, you just didn't understand the story all these years later, and you couldn't understand that this story was about forgiveness and revenge wasn't the real story that they were trying to tell. It's like, bro, shut the hell up. Everybody got the story of the game. This isn't this, you know, groundbreaking narrative. I think the narrative structure is incredibly cool and unique, but this isn't this groundbreaking narrative that it takes an incredibly high IQ for normal people to comprehend, and they're just unable, like, whoa, buddy, there, relax a little bit, relax. Like, everybody got the story of Last of Us Part 2. It's not this incredibly, confusing story for people to figure out, alright? And if you liked it, more power to you, but I am totally in my right to, yes, I did understand the story, I got the core themes of the story, everybody got the core themes of the story, I just thought it was terrible, and you know what, if you disagree, more power to you, but, I think No Return is awesome. I think the gameplay to the game is outstanding and significantly better than Part 1. The gameplay in Part 2 is legitimately tremendous, and it's kind of unfortunate to me personally that gameplay at such a high level had to be tied to a story that, in my opinion, is at such a low level, but hey, if you love the gameplay and you love the story, now you have another way to experience the story in the form of the chronological update. Unfortunate that you have to beat the game again to get the Joel and Sam skins for No Return, but hey, it gives you a reason to go back and play the game again. You got new trophies to check out as well, so that's pretty cool. Unfortunately, it is tied to just Last of Us Part 2 Remastered, and if you only have the original game, you won't get access to it, so that's a little bit of a bummer, but it's a good-looking game. The gameplay is great. The narrative, I just think, personally speaking, is a pile of trash, but that'll do it for me. Let me know all of your thoughts in the comment section down below. As always, thank you for watching, and goodbye. Hey guys, we hope you enjoyed the video, and if you did, make sure to hit the subscribe button, and if you're already subscribed, do us a favor and hit the bell icon. This way you'll be notified whenever we post a new video. That's the best way to keep up with all of our uploads, and we usually try to upload 2 videos a day. And with the bell icon hit, you'll be notified whenever we do upload a video. As always, thanks for watching.